Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Cards, and now today video is not about any of the players from this book, The Glory of Their Times. Love this book, a great book, but I'm using it kind of as a backdrop here on my cruddy old desk to show some cards. But I did want to show some cards that, for some people, it was the glory of their times, and those are your league leader cards. And again, I found just a box of cards I've been going through as we've been moving, and I've had stuff that I've had put away for quite a while and haven't looked at. And you can see like this one here, it's got a nice little crease right across Rocky Calavito. But just wanted to show some league leader cards because it was the glory of their time for some of these players, because a lot of them that are on here, they're not Hall of Fame players, and they had a couple of really good years like Rocky Calavito here in this league leader card for RBIs, and Willie Horton. Willie Horton was a really great player with the Detroit Tigers, and of course Hall of Famer Tony Oliva. And these are from the 1966 set. And here's a 65 ERA leader. Unfortunately it's got a bad cut across the bottom there, but you've got the great Sandy Koufax, Juan Marichal, and then Vern Law from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Vern was a very good Major League Baseball player, had a really, really good career. And then here we've got the pitching leaders from that same year. Two people that are on a lot of league leader cards from this era were Koufax and Drysdale, but then Tony Cloninger there with the Milwaukee Braves for the pitching leader for the 1965. And again, these are some cards I've had in boxes. I just haven't looked at in a long time, and that's kind of, I surely don't like moving, but that's one thing. When you do move, you do get to open up a lot of boxes you probably haven't looked at in a while. Now here's a great card. This is got three Hall of Famers on there. This is from the 67 set, but you've got Frank Robinson, Tony Oliva, and Al Kaline. What a great card that is from the 67 American League batting leaders. And, then I've got a strikeout leader, and again, you got one guy in the middle. It's a Hall of Famer, Jim Cott, but on the left, Sam McDowell and Earl Wilson. And I gotta admit, I don't know a whole lot about Mr. Earl Wilson there on the right. I've heard of Sudden Sam McDowell and of course Jim Cott, but for Earl Wilson, this must have been the glory of his time in his Major League career. And this one here is a great card. You got four Hall of Famers on here: Sandy Koufax, Juan Marichal, Bob Gibson, Gaylord Perry. Wow, four Hall of Famers on one card. You can't go wrong with that. The National League 1966 pitching leaders. And this is from, of course, the 67 set. But yeah, I'm glad I stumbled across this box. I haven't seen this card in quite a while. And then we have another great card here with two Hall of Famers and one really, really good player. You got Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, and Boog Powell. And Boog Powell, I sure do remember him. I can remember going to a Milwaukee Brewer game and the Baltimore Orioles in 1971, and Boog Powell, and I thought, what a name, Boog. As a 9-year-old boy, I just was kind of taken by that name, Boog Powell. My grandmother, her name was Powell, so I always had a Grandma Powell, and then you throw Boog on there, and it was something that really stuck for a 9-year-old boy. But yeah, Boog Powell was one heck of a ball player. He was really, really good. Just a little bit outside the Hall of Fame, as Chris from Missouri would say. Now, I did show the 1968 top set, the league leaders. So these are from the 1969 set, but these are for the 68 season. And you've got Carl Yastrzemski, Tony Oliva, and I gotta admit, I really don't know a whole lot about Danny Carter in the middle there as a batting leader, and a well-loved card, as you can see. But Danny Carter, he had a 290 batting average. That was not really a super strong batting year for the American League, that's for sure. And you can see I've got some paper loss in this card, and that's probably why I haven't seen it for a while, but I still love cards like that. And here we've got three Hall of Famers on the RBI leader: Willie McCovey, Ronnie Santo, and Billy Williams from the Cubs. Great card, great card. We've got Frank Howard, Willie Horton, and Ken Harrelson. No Hall of Famers on the front here, but all familiar names for us baseball people from the late 60s or early 70s. 1968 home run leader. Again, another trifecta for the Hall of Famers. Willie McCovey, the newly inducted Richie Allen, and Ernie Banks. 1968 home run leaders. And you can see McCovey with 36, Allen with 33, Banks 32, Billy Williams 30, Hank Aaron, Santo, Jimmy Wynn, Willie Stargell, Willie Mays down there with 23, Bob Clemente, Roberto with 18, Tony Perez, on we go. And the Grand Slam leaders for that year, Dick Allen over here on the right had 2 Grand Slams, Ernie Banks had 1, Bobby Bonds had 1. So just a real interesting. I always love the league leader cards. I think they're fun to look at, and it's a real bargain when you get like the Hall of Famers on there. And here's another league leader card for the ERA for the American League. None of these guys are Hall of Famers, but boy, they're all pretty darn well known. Luis Tiant, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Sudden Sam McDowell, and Dave McNally with the Orioles. He was really one of the anchors of that late 60s, early 70s Baltimore staff. We got Denny McLain, Dave McNally, Louis Tiant, Mel Stottlemyre. Again, no Hall of Famers, but all 4 well-known players. The glory of their times for sure. 68 strikeout leaders. Again, no Hall of Famers, but you got McDowell, Denny McLain, Louis Tiant. All 3 really good pitchers. And then over here you've got the strikeout leaders. Bob Gibson, Fergie Jenkins, and Bill Singer. So, again, I love the league leader cards. Love them. And here's some 1970 league leader cards. Dick Bosman, Jim Palmer, Mike Cuellar. Obviously, Palmer and Cuellar are the half of the great Baltimore Orioles staff. You got Tom Seaver, Phil Niekro, Fergie Jenkins, Juan Marichal. 4 Hall of Famers on one card. You can't go wrong with something like that. Here you've got, again, 2 Hall of Famers. Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson, Bill Singer. Just great, great cards. And here we got 3 great players, 2 Hall of Famers. Harmon Killebrew, RBI leader with Boog Powell, Reggie Jackson. And the thing that's interesting here is you've got another picture coming up with Harmon Killebrew. And, Topps was so notorious for using the same photo over and over, but 2 different stadiums here, which is nice, 2 different poses. But, again, you've got Frank Howard, Reggie Jackson, Harmon Killebrew on the home run leaders, the RBI leaders, and just a second card there I've got, and I guess I have 3 of those. But and then here's a really nice card that I like a lot. You got ERA leaders, 3 great Hall of Famers: Juan Marichal, Steve Carlton, Bob Gibson, and it was the glory of their times for these players to be on the league leader cards. And again, I just think it's a great way to collect multiple Hall of Famers, and you can usually get them for a lot less than you can the individual card. And it's just a really neat way to add Hall of Famers to your collection and to really look at the glory of their times for each one of those years, because they were the league leaders. And a lot of guys that are on there, maybe it was just a really good year, 1 or 2 years that they had, and it's their chance to kind of have that limelight. And so it's just a great way to collect cards. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and enjoy the hobby and keep on collecting, and we will talk later.